In today's Razorback Daily, Arkansas is 2-0, baby. We're recapping the win over Arkansas State. Plus, we're taking a look at how the rest of the SEC did this weekend. It's Monday, September 8th, 2025. I'm Quinn Grovey alongside my man Matt Zimmerman, and you're listening to the Razorback Daily.
All right, folks, here we are on this Monday, and Quinn, we are so excited. You said it right there, buddy. The Razorbacks won their second game in a row of the season, 2-0. That is the main thing. But what a special weekend it was for those of us that made the trip to Little Rock. And, of course, so many that go to the game in Little Rock live there, or they live in Malvern or Hot Springs or Arkadelphia or Pine Bluff or live somewhere close. But, Quinn, I got to spend about an hour and a half walking around before the game on the golf course. It was incredible, Quinn. I saw Tara out there. I know she enjoyed it. The atmosphere was tremendous. It really was. There was so much anticipation. People eating, cooking, some of them were drinking. But the golf course, Quinn, it was like the old days. It was on fire. And it may be the last time down there. We don't know that. And that's fine if you think it should be. It's also fine if we think that it shouldn't be. It's all an opinion. That's what makes it fun. But Little Rock was for real. The Razorbacks were for real. Little Rock brought it, Quinn. War Memorial Stadium brought it. And the Razorbacks, more importantly than anything, they brought it to Arkansas State. I thought it was a great Saturday. Quinn Grovey, how you feeling? What did you think?
No, it was a great time, man. I think Friday it really started picking up in Little Rock, and the Arkansas State fans came into town, and it was just they took over. I thought that they were like all over. They had their chest pumped out, had the Arkansas State shirts on, and they actually thought they had a chance to win. And so, but Saturday at the game, I did some of the same stuff you did. I kind of got there early, and actually I left a little bit earlier because I was thinking there was going to be traffic, and there was. I was like, golly. I mean, I didn't get that, but I guess I should have understood that because everybody was there in town on Friday.
Yeah.
But there was so much traffic there, and it took me a lot longer to get to my parking spot than I normally do. But I went around the tailgates, and it felt like when War Memorial was really at its peak, and it was good to see that. A lot of tailgating going on, man. I hopped around from tailgate to tailgate, got to see a lot of people, and they were excited about it. Arkansas State fans were excited about it, and there was an energy like in that stadium that I hadn't felt in a long time. I mean, to be able to see it packed the way it was, I mean, it was a beautiful day. And, Chuck and I we were talking about that on the broadcast about how it just felt a little bit different, felt a lot more different than it had in the past 5 or 6 times we'd been down there.
Yes.
And, it was just a great day, great way to get it kicked off. And I mean, at the end of the day, you know how it is. You got a little brother that tries to think he's big enough and strong enough to take you down, and you just got to go ahead and you got to go ahead and put it on him. You go ahead and put it on him, and then he won't come at you no more. And so that's probably going to be the case.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know, but you did what you needed to do, and that's really what I like about this football team and that football game. I mean, you came out and Arkansas State defers, and you give the football to an explosive offense, and you go straight down the field and take care of business. I mean, that first drive was so easy. I was like, you got to be kidding me. That toss sweep to Mike Washington, I was like, this is too easy. This is too easy. And the way Corey Robinson just punished, I don't remember who it was, but he punished somebody on the second level and paved the way for Mike Washington. I was thinking this is really going to be really, really easy. And I mean, we had control of the whole game the entire time. And they got that kick return, which gave them a little hope. But and actually, though, Z, I will say, and this is not really anything about it's about the game, but it's not about the game. The time of possession that they had, I mean, they had way more time of possession than we did. And to me, that's what kept them from really getting blown out, because they held it for like 31 minutes. Let me see what they had. 31 minutes, I believe, the time of possession to our 23 or something like that.
Yeah, but
And
we were scoring in like 30 or 40 seconds.
yeah, oh no, it's 37 minutes,
Yeah,
37 to 22. And if they had not had those 12 and 15 play drives eating up the clock, that one before the half, I thought really helped them out at 28-14 or whatever it was, or 28-7. But boy, I tell you what, Arkansas just did what they needed to do. I mean, Mike Washington was good, Taylor was good. They did everything they expected. The defense was really solid. I mean, there's not a whole lot to break down on why it happened. I mean, we were just bigger, faster, stronger, did what we needed to do. And so I like that going into Ole Miss. Um, Taylor had a couple of picks that I'm sure he's going to want to clean up. But other than that, I
yeah.
didn't see a whole lot. The defensive front was solid. I mean, they had tackles for losses. They had QB hurries. They did it all, and they were popping. Pads were popping. I mean, that
Popping.
defense, them guys were, whew, hey, that defense was bringing the wood. And so I was proud about what they did. But the only thing I didn't like is we had several guys limp off the field. And
Yeah.
when you play football, you're going to have injuries and you're not going to always be healthy. But we had some of our key guys limp off the field. So hopefully they can get in the treatment room and get better, because now this is when the real football starts. And and we're in a good spot. I mean, I think we're in a good spot to go to Oxford and be 3-0. And if we can do that, boy, we're going to be in a really, really good spot. So yeah, all in all, man, it was a good day, and I'm glad it's over.
Quinn, to piggyback on you there a little bit, I mean, and they did have really 4 pretty good drives, Arkansas State. They only scored on one of them. They had trouble converting, and then they got stopped on the 4th down, and then on the other time, it looked like it might be a touchdown. The review said that was a stop on a 4th down. So they ate up some with those drives, but our drives were all like 39 seconds and 2:24. And I'm going to run through the scoring, and Quinn, stop me if you want
That's
to
going to be the
mention
whole
one of these.
podcast right there, buddy.
No, well, we had 8 touchdowns, but I want to honor those 8 touchdowns, and they did have 2. But I'll run through it as quick as I can, so Tara don't cut me off. But it started, as you said, we got the ball, we went down 39 seconds. Quinn, Mike Washington, 53 yards. You talked about the blocks on that. We get a stop, we get it back. Raylan Sharp, 37-yard touchdown pass. That was 6 plays, 80 yards, 224. So not even 5 minutes into the game clock, we're up 14-0. Now it became a game for about a minute. We kicked off, and our kicker Ford on that one, he did get replaced, and then he came back out after we did go to bail for a little bit on the kickoffs, but Ford kicked it off, and their backup kick return, he was really good. Cobb, he was little, guys. He was probably looked like he about 5'8" out there, 5'9", number 16. They had a smaller team, but fast, some fast guys. He was fast. I got to see Scott Fountain down by the locker room after the game. He said, you know what? He said, we covered that decent. Anytime he scored a touchdown, you didn't cover it good enough. He said, but you got to give him credit. He made a great run. Cobb went 98 yards, Quinn. So it was 14-7. Hogs get it back. And now we're wondering, is this going to be a game? Quinn says he didn't think it was going to be a game, and he was right. We went 2 plays, 75 yards after that kickoff, touchdown. 2 plays, 75 yards, 51 seconds. Taylor Green, Quinn, 64-yard touchdown. And it was one of those touchdowns that within about 2 yards, it looked like a Matt Jones one. He was 2 or 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, and although he was 64 yards away, you're like, he's going to score right here. And they had one guy that had a chance, but we had a blocker down there. Quinn, I do want you to talk about that run. That was an incredible Matt Jones-like run.
Yeah, that's just a basic zone read option, and he did a nice job of reading the defensive end, defensive tackle, pulled the football, got good blocks on the outside, and then there was a small little crease. And when he hit that crease, I mean, he started separating from people. And I was like, holy smokes. And one guy had a chance to kind of like clip at his heels, didn't get him. And
Yeah.
then when he opened up, I mean, it was a foot race. But another guy started kind of gaining him, but Taylor did a nice job of cutting back towards the goalpost and kind of ran away from him. And it was just I mean, that's what you get. That's what you have in a guy like Taylor Green. He can take it to the house at any single time. I don't care if it's a pass play, if it's a run play. The defense always has to account for him because he is a home run hitter. You're right. He's got those long strides like Matt Jones. If you don't get him early, you ain't getting him.
At Arvest Bank, we've got loans and we've got lines of credit for almost anything. Need to improve your home, consolidate debt, or maybe purchase a new vehicle? Then apply online today at arvest.com/loans. Great bank, easy to navigate website, or go visit one of their locations. Equal housing lender, all loans are subject to credit approval. Razorbacks, we get a stop. There was a couple turnovers back and forth. We get the ball again and we go. This was a longer drive, 1 minute and 56 seconds. 4 plays, 50 yards. This was a really good drive with Braylon Russell. He finished it with 7 yards. He cracked helmets with one of their linebackers and a D-back on that one, and he scored 28-7 Razorbacks with 5:05 left. This is all in the first quarter. And before I flip the chart to the second quarter, Quinn, Chuck Barrett said he thought it was the longest first quarter in Razorback history. I'm talking about time on the real clock. That was a long game, 3 hours and 24 minutes. But Quinn, the first half lasted an hour almost. First quarter.
Yeah. It was long. It was long. I mean, there was a lot of touchdowns. There was a lot of scoring, and I mean, it was long. We talked about that. It was crazy. I could not believe how long it was, and but the rest of the game kind of went a little bit faster.
Yeah, so it was 28-7, 35 points scored in that first quarter. We go to the second quarter. This time, Arkansas State goes down and scores. They have their best drive, 14 plays, 62 yards. They ate up almost 7 minutes, and this is with Ambrose. And, of course, we have our spotting boards. We got the rosters. We got game notes. We got there. We had to scramble around because it was not the official scoring summary that is done for this game. Will say it says number 58, C. Ambrose, 2-yard touchdown pass from number 1, Jay Rayner. But he was not 58 on that play, and he had changed numbers. We had to run around and try to figure out. I even went out all the way into the main press box. By the time I came back, y'all had figured it out that it was Ambrose. But they had a nice drive there, 28-14, their last points of the game, 3:44 to go in the second quarter. But we answered before the half. We go 12 plays, Quinn. This is how fast it was, folks. We did 12 plays, but we did it in 2:51. 12 plays, 83 yards, and 2:51 on the game clock. And this was Jaylen Brown, number 17, with the 8-yard touchdown pass from Taylor Green, 35-14 at the half. Kind of felt like there was going to be no comeback. 28-14, you don't think there's going to be a comeback, but there can be. But now it's 35-14. I thought that was it. Third quarter, we get the ball back, and we immediately go down the field. We got to stop. We got the ball back. We got to stop to start the second half, and Rohan Jones, a 33-yard touchdown pass over there right in front of the Arkansas State sideline from Taylor. That was 5 plays, folks, 70 yards, 2:10. That was now blowout time, 42-14. And then the last touchdown for us in the third quarter was Omega Blake from Taylor Green. This was 14 yards. This was 11 plays, 86 yards, 4 minutes and 32 seconds. So we made it 49-14. That is 7 Razorback touchdowns, 2 Arkansas State touchdowns. And then the only score of the fourth quarter was by us, and that was KJ Jackson with a nice kind of getting things going to the right, head back to the left. I could have ran that one in. 8 plays, 99. He made it look a lot better than I could. 8 plays. How about this, Tara? 99 yards. 8 plays, 99 yards, and 4:16. That's it, Quinn. 56-14. Blowout-ville in War Memorial Stadium. for the Arkansas Razorbacks, 2-0 on the season.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was a fun game. I thought Arkansas had some things they had to work on. I like how they came out in the third quarter. You talked about that just a little bit. Get a stop and you score. And I love the tight end. I mean, he looked really fast running down that sideline. So give him a lot of credit. But Taylor was awesome. 17 to 26, 239 yards, 4 TDs. He did have 2 picks he's going to have to work on. But he had 151 yards rushing. He was very close to breaking the single game rushing record for a quarterback, which a lot of people would have thought it would have been Matt Jones or me or somebody like that.
Yeah,
but
I was shocked.
What was it? Mark? It was Mark Calcagney.
No, it was Mark Calcagney in 85,
yeah.
160 yards, 1985 against the Rice Owls, who were in our conference back then. But when he said Calcagney, I knew it was Ron Calcagney. Nope. And his brother was the starting quarterback.
That's right.
Fine, man. Mark Calcagney. And that's an old record, man.
Shoot,
Glenn, Matt Jones had all those 70 and 80-yard touchdown runs. How did he not get 160 in a game?
I think the most he ever rushed for in a game was like 131 yards or something like that. And but he did it a lot.
Well, Matt was going to get sacked for a loss of about 14 yards every game, right?
He might give you one of those, but he's going to make it up. But I love the fact that Taylor did everything. He's the optimal dual threat kind of guy. But you had 29 carries for 321 yards. You averaged 11.1 yards per attempt. Mike Washington again was solid, 9 carries, 116 yards, along with 53. Braylon Russell, 5 for 25. I'd like to see his yards per carry get up just a little bit. But between those 3 guys, they can stretch a defense in a way like nobody's business.
Yeah.
You had 20 completions. Raylan Sharp, that 37-yard touchdown you talked about, and Rohan Jones, that 41-yard touchdown was really nice. He's going to help us in a lot of ways from a just a mismatch standpoint. One thing I talked about all season long coming into the season is explosive plays. We had 5 plays of 20 yards or more. Green had the 64-yard run. Washington had the 53-yard run. Sharp had the 37-yard TD. Jones had 41 yards, and then Omega Blake had a 22-yard catch. Yards per play is crazy. 10.9 yards per play.
Man,
it's crazy. It's really ridiculous. In the red zone, you go 4 for 4. The protection was there. 0 sacks. You had 1 quarterback hurry. So basically, if you look at what the havoc percent was for Arkansas, it was only 3%. They had 29 dropbacks. They only had 1 disruption, which is really, really good. And then defensively, listen to this. They locked them down. Total clamp job right there. They held Arkansas State to 285 yards, 3.7 yards per play. They ended up rushing for 153 yards, which was 3.6 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
And they had 132 yards passing, but they were 10 and 19 on 3rd and 4th down, 0 for 2 in the red zone. And here's what I like. Everybody was talking about the defensive front last week, which I still thought after the first drive and a half, they were solid. But they had 4 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, 5 pass breakups, and 2 quarterback hurries. So if you look at that, when you talk about havoc plays, that's where you take tackles for loss, plus interceptions, plus forced fumbles, plus fumble recoveries, plus pass breakups. They had 18 havoc plays on 78 snaps, which is a 23%. So on 23% of the plays, they created havoc, which I really love. So give them a lot of credit. And Story had 15 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, forced fumble, an interception that looked like a dang, wide receiver. And then Quincy Rhodes was good. Phillip Lee popped on the screen for us several times. It was good to see him. And I thought Julian Neal and Kanai Walker on the corners, they showed me a lot. Julian Neal had 11 tackles, but he had several pass breakups. And then Kanai Walker was good as well. All in all, man, you did what you needed to do. And like I said, really the only big negative thing was that kickoff return that you gave up. And then kind of just like I said, the sloppy second quarter. But you came out and rectified that in the third. You did that. I love to say we came out of here without any major injuries. I don't think we clearly know that everybody was able to walk off the field, but hopefully people were healthy on the way back. But how about, boy, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Braylon Russell trucking that guy at the goal line. I mean, he just
Ooh, man.
absolutely,
Man.
he absolutely
Oh, man.
ran him over. Oh my goodness, that young man had a rough day. So
Yeah.
a good
And
day.
yeah. And thoughts for Arkansas State. They were, like I said, I enjoyed visit. I visited probably 15 or 20 people at the Marriott. That was their team hotel. That's where our broadcast team stayed, and they were all very cordial. Even Friday night. Saturday night, I went back in there, and it was just literally the lobby. There was Arkansas fans too, a lot of Razorback fans, but there was a lot of A-State
What they were still there?
Saturday night, there was more people in the Marriott lobby
Really?
Saturday night than Friday. Friday night they were mostly in that Heritage Restaurant and Bar and Grill right there. Some out in the rest of the lobby.
Yeah.
Saturday night, the whole lobby was. I mean, it wasn't slam packed, but it was a lot. It was. I would say it was triple the amount of people from Friday night to Saturday night. That hotel was
That must
packed.
have been the old two night minimum.
Yeah, 2-night minimum. The old 2-night minimum. Got them. But thoughts to them because they had 4 or 5 looked like pretty significant injuries right off the bat. I don't know if people noticed it, but they're starting tight end. First play from scrimmage, he got hit, and he went running off the field with his shoulder down. He went in the tent, and then he was out. And hopefully he's not out for the season or anything. 87, but he never came back in. They had other guys that got hurt. 15 was hurt for a long time. He never came back in. I think they had 4 guys that went out. But hopefully our guys will be good. We got to play a lot of people, a lot of depth, second week in a row, getting to play a lot. You talked about, and Devin Bell was kicking off after Blake Ford. Not that he gave up the kickoff return, but after that kickoff return, for whatever reasons, Blake Ford wasn't kicking anymore, and Devin Bell was. And then on a punt, he went down and made a tackle. And then I did notice after that, we didn't punt again, so it didn't matter. But I was interested with Gavin Rush, 36, have become the punter because I think Bell's fine, but I do know that he didn't kick off anymore. We went back to Ford, but where I noticed it was holding. The holder is our punter always, and 36, Gavin Rush, became our holder. Now, that may have just been to, get him some reps as the backup holder. I don't know. And I was anxious in the second half if we punted. Was it going to be Devin, who's going to chance to be an All-American punter?
Ooh, how about that punt from his goal line, flipping the field?
It was incredible how bombed it. It was a beautiful punt, and so I think he's probably fine. But it was interesting seeing the backup holder get in reps, Gavin Rush. So a lot went on. Man, enjoyed that very much. Ole Miss, Quinn, 2-0. I was listening to a radio broadcast, national radio, Saturday night late. They were not impressed. We can say this: we're not playing Kentucky unless we play them in the SEC championship game, and they're not going to be there. They were really not hammering, but they were like, Kentucky has major offensive issues, and Kentucky has quarterback issues, but they still almost beat Ole Miss, and it was a close ball game. And the guy on I won't say who it was. I know the national broadcaster on Sirius. He said if Kentucky would have had a little bit better quarterback play, they beat Ole Miss in this one. He said their defense, Kentucky's defense to him was better than Ole Miss's, and he liked Kentucky's offensive line. He really did. He said they just couldn't get anything much out of the quarterback. But we know Ole Miss is good. They gave us one of the biggest whippings we've had in Razorback Stadium that I've watched with my own eyes. We've probably been beaten there worse. You think of a couple losses, USC and some of them, but that 63 points they hung on us last year was a blowout. We do want to get them back. We do want to beat Ole Miss, but Lane Kiffin's a good coach. We got to go to their place this time. They won here last year. Let's go there and win, Quinn.
Yeah, you got a chance to win, too. The one thing I talked about, I know their quarterback, Austin Simmons, is a guy that has flashed. He's flashed a lot of big plays, and he's a guy who can do it. He didn't do it too much against Kentucky, and he went 13 of 24 for 235, but they pretty much held him in check. See, where Lane Kiffin fools a lot of people. Everybody thinks Lane Kiffin's going to be all about wanting to throw it, and he is. He wants to take advantage. He wants to take play action shots. But if Lane Kiffin can get a bell cow back running the football, that's where everything in his offense opens up. And against Kentucky, their running back, Keywan Lacey, he had 28 carries for 138 yards. And so that's the thing that we've got to make sure. We got to make sure that that they can't run the football. Now, we can't let them just run, buck naked in the wind like we did last year. I mean, that guy, that number 11, I forgot his name, but that guy.
Watkins.
My goodness.
Corey Watkins or man.
But that's where I love, having Neal and Kanai Walker. Those two guys are solid at the cornerback position. You're getting good safety play. I mean, the defense is just playing so much better all over. And I think we'll be able to score points. I'm not worried about Arkansas scoring points. Anytime we may break down how we score points. We'll be able to do it in the run game and the pass game. But the thing about it is, our defense coming to play. And if they play like they did Saturday, and I know it's a different opponent, but if they come in and have remotely the same type of success, Arkansas is going to score points. And I feel good about that. But you're going to be playing at 6:00 in Oxford. They'll be pumped up. They'll be ready to go. The thing about it for them, they've already played an SEC football game. And so they've won an SEC football game. And so they've got the first one under their belt. This will be our first one. So, but when you've got an experienced quarterback like Taylor Green and you got these guys playing with a lot of confidence, I'm all on board. I'm on board with Arkansas going down there and getting a win. And so we'll get a chance to break that down a little bit more on how we can get that done. So I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So we'll have a great week here. The Ole Miss week. Razorbacks versus the Ole Miss Rebels. Let's go down there and beat those guys. Folks, it is time for us to take a look at our picks. Hopefully you made some with us. I had several people mention it to me last week, and we had a very fun first week. We had some great games for week 2. We picked them on Friday. Tara Talmadge.
Ole Miss and Kentucky is one of those games that we ended up picking. And when we picked it, Ole Miss was a 10.5-point favorite. I think Q and I both picked Ole Miss. Z went with Kentucky, and for some reason, Kentucky just seems to have Ole Miss's number recently. I mean, they didn't win the game, but still, I was expecting Ole Miss to run it up. They won 30-23. So Z, you get that game. Congrats.
Ooh, that's good. Thank you. Hard-earned victory.
Yeah.
I'm on Team Stoops.
The other game is Kansas versus Missouri. Missouri was a 6.5-point favorite, and they won that game 42-31.
I cannot believe that. I mean, we're sitting there watching the first quarter, and I was like, they're going to rout. They are going to rout Missouri. I thought I had that one in the bag. I knew I had that one in the bag. I wasn't even worried about that one. Then I got in the car driving back, and I was like,
what happened?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. And then all I could hear you is cackling.
Oh,
that's what I could hear you.
I didn't really get to see a whole lot of that game, to be completely honest. So
who'd you take, Tara?
Exactly. I took Missouri.
Okay, good. Okay.
So
good.
That's like my 1 or 2 wins this week, because the other game was Oklahoma State versus Oregon, and Oregon won 69-3 against.
That was personal. That was personal.
That
was
we all got that one right.
Yeah.
You took Oklahoma State?
Yes.
No. We all took Oregon.
Oh, I thought you said
we all took Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the one we all agreed on.
Oh, Lord.
Because the spread was 28.5. So the game I got to watch the most of was the Michigan versus Oklahoma game. Oklahoma was 6.5-point favorites. They won that game 24-14. You both picked Oklahoma. I picked Michigan. And as someone who picked Michigan, that was wildly frustrating to watch. But so I made 2 mistakes first. I didn't realize that Underwood was a true freshman.
Okay.
And that's no shade against him.
Right.
You're going to have growing pains, and you could see it. Oklahoma even threw Michigan some bones. They had some mistakes throughout the game. They had special teams. There were tipped balls. There was an interception, and Michigan still couldn't do anything with it, really. I'm surprised that game was even as close as it was, to be completely honest, because you could tell top to bottom, Oklahoma was a better team in that one.
Yeah. Tara, were you watching that on your phone on the bus back to Fayetteville?
I was, yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't the only one. There were a lot of people on the bus watching that one too. And the Vanderbilt game. A lot of people were watching the Vanderbilt game too.
And one of the best games of the night, and we didn't pick it. We talked about it. I thought Mississippi State, they led that game, but they gave up a touchdown to Arizona State
late.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't think Mississippi State got the kind of offense and go down and score. And they did. Terrible lapse by Arizona State's defense. And they stormed the field in Stark Vegas, Quinn.
Yeah, I saw that. They should.
Yeah.
I mean, they ain't won nothing in a while, man. I mean, and look, they almost snatched victory out of the jaws of defeat, or defeat out of the jaws of victory.
Yes.
And but that was like, I don't know how you give up that bomb at the end. I mean, it's crazy, unbelievable. But hey, Jeff Levy's got them going. They got some confidence, and see that happens every season where you think one team is going to be such an easy win. You mark them as a win, and then you see them start gaining momentum.
Yeah.
And so by the time we play Mississippi State, it'll probably be a little tougher out than what we thought.
Yeah.
Arizona State was ranked what, like 12th or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a big win for Mississippi State. And honestly, it just makes me happy because, I mean, not too happy because we do have to play them at some point.
Right.
But in terms of their program and just what it's been through over the past couple of years, and since Mike Leach, I don't think they've really had a big moment like this. And so it's cool to see them get to celebrate that way for the first time in a long time.
Yes, I agree. That was good. Yeah.
So the last game we picked was Iowa versus Iowa State. And Iowa State was a 2.5-point favorite. They won the game 16-13. Iowa is the team that I picked. They let me down. So you guys went, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, Z, did you go 4-1? No, wait, did you win the whole? Wait, you went 5-0.
I'm so disgusted right now. I am so disgusted right now. 5-0. I don't know.
Just.
Yeah, boy.
Those were exciting, tough picks. That was some tough picks. We'll do it again this Friday. Yeah, and folks, we're going to have a big week of talking Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, Sam Pittman. Our Razorback football team looks so good on Saturday against Arkansas State. I know you took a lot of pride in that as a Razorback. It was a great win. Just think about it. All those years, many, many years from Coach Broyles there, we're not going to play in-state. We've played Pine Bluff, 2 or 3 times now, but to play Arkansas State, the one that's been talking about it the most, wanting it the most, and to finally do it and then to beat them like that, convincing, I think that answered a lot of questions for a lot of people. And we're going to have a good week this week. We're going to lay Arkansas State to rest, and we're going to have a great week talking about getting ready for the Razorback game, first road game of the season down in Oxford.
Well, all right, Z and Tara, that's how we'll wrap up this edition of the Razorback Daily, a Sport and Story production. I'm Quinn Grovey alongside my man, Matt Zimmerman. We'll talk tomorrow.